four of us are there. My handle is @JackCurryS, and yes, I can pronounce Twitter. Joel goes by the name @JoelSherman1. Tyler's handle is just his name, keeping it nice and simple, @TylerKepner. And Bob is making it even more simple than that. He's shortened his last name, so his handle is @BobClapp. We're back again on Yankees Hot Stove with a look at some of 2013's greatest hits from social media, where Twitter continued to establish itself as one of the go-to forums for teams, players, and media members. A few minutes ago, when we talked about Twitter off camera, we brought up some of the things that stood out for us. One of the ones that stood out for me this year was David Price. After an American League Division Series game that didn't go well for him, here's what he tweeted. Dirk Hayhurst couldn't hack it. Tom Verducci wasn't even a water boy in high school, but yet they can still bash a player? Save it, nerds. Tyler, I'm not sure I'd heard the word nerds used since 1989, but he decided to use it. What's going on with David Price here?
Well, it was a tough loss, and obviously he pressed send a few too many times. That wasn't the only tweet that night. It just, you hear this sometimes. Players say that media can't criticize him because we never played the game. Dirk Hayhurst played the game. He played Major League Baseball. He wasn't very good, but he played Major League Baseball. And Tom Verducci is one of the best reporters and writers around. I mean, you got to be a little less sensitive out there. And if anybody, if you're saying a major leaguer, a former major leaguer can't criticize you, then who can? I mean, a fellow Cy Young winner, a Hall of Famer. I mean, come on. I mean, David, just stop. Don't press send. Chill out. Relax a little bit.
But that's one of the problems with Twitter in particular. Is there's two problems. The players don't have the second one, which is anonymity. But it's immediacy. When you don't have time to think and you press a button, you can say almost anything and have regrets. And then it's out there forever. And players and all of us, we all have handles. We all have emotional moments because some of the people who have immediacy and anonymity are our followers who say some stuff to us and you'd love to, oh, yeah? You got to take a deep breath. And I think the athletes, everyone who uses this forum has to remember, immediacy isn't a great thing.
Well, first of all, I want to vouch for Tom Verducci. He's not a water boy. He's actually a very good athlete. He played baseball at Penn State, so I wanted to get that out of the way. But the David Price incident really reflects how far we've come in terms of athletes speaking to the media or speaking to the public. I mean, what about the old school days when guys like Bobby Bonilla would get in your face and threaten to show you the Bronx? Believe me, I lived that moment. Or, when players used to be bench jockeying between the dugouts. Now they attack each other on Twitter. It's really changed. It's a whole different world now.
It definitely has changed our world, and we talked about the one with Price was a little bit more of a joking matter. We had some fun with it, but then you saw some tweets come out after the biogenesis situation where there were suspensions handed down for performance-enhancing drug use. We're going to go to a tweet from Evan Longoria that he sent out after that situation, and he said, "Today is a sad day for Major League Baseball. The fans of the great game and all players who may have been negatively affected by others' selfishness. Ultimately, although today will be a day of infamy for MLB, it is a tremendous step in the right direction for the game we love." Now go to Johnny Peralta, signing after the offseason. He was one of the biogenesis players. Here's what Brad Ziegler had to say. "It pays to cheat. Thanks, owners, for encouraging PED use." When you see a guy come out, Joel, and be that open in talking about PED use, and we've all covered sports or baseball where that became a word where guys didn't want to talk about steroids. Now you have somebody on Twitter criticizing, at least in Ziegler's case, a player signing.
Yeah, it's almost a different story because I think that's just the way it is with us now also. I think guys will talk to us one-on-one. But the ability, as Bob said, for the player now to circumvent traditional media, us, and be able to give their story how they want, they feel unfiltered, is a new situation. Look, Twitter has great value to all of us. We get to post our stories. We all posted we're appearing on this show tonight, so people who like our work could do it. I use it to follow people like you, all three of you I respect. What are you writing? What are you doing? But I'm telling you, that immediacy thing is something that is worrisome. I wonder if Ziegler, who took a lot of heck from even his own union, regretted it.
Yeah, look at, Bob, the immediacy of it. I think, as Joel said, it's good, but it can also be a little dangerous. It's great if you're the guy to break a story on your first one out there, but I think we've all learned you got to take a deep breath before you press that button, even if it is reacting, as Joel said, to somebody who might be sending you a tweet that annoyed you.
Right. I mean, the race to be first really sometimes comes at the expense of accuracy. But, I mean, athletes, and Joel, I just want to get back to a point that Joel just made, is that athletes now have found a way, as he said, to circumvent us and basically go directly to the public. I mean, I'm old enough to remember what it was like when players only had newspapers to speak to the press, to speak to the public, to speak to their fans, which is why we had such access was so important back then. But right now, Twitter seems to have replaced that, or at least become part of the equation. It's changed.
Tyler, give us a couple of players that you follow on Twitter, guys who are worthwhile follows.
Well, a lot of them are former Oakland A's or current Oakland A's. Brett Anderson, who was just traded to the Rockies, is a really insightful, smart guy. He commented after Ryan Braun gave his apology pretty strongly about Ryan Braun, sarcastically, but you could tell where he was coming from. And another former Oakland pitcher, Brandon McCarthy, and his wife actually are hilarious on Twitter. Brandon's very, he engages his fans a lot. You ask him a question, a lot of times he'll respond, and he's pretty forthright and direct with his answers. And it doesn't always rub people the right way, but he says what he feels, and it's pretty intelligent, high-minded talk with a a humorous side too. He could be a comedy writer. He's a pretty good follow.
One of these years we'll probably do a whole show on Twitter because we really could keep going. A few minutes ago we showed you how to get in touch with everyone up here on our panel. Now here's how to get in touch with the Yes Network itself. Send tweets to @YesNetwork, and if you're tweeting about the Yankees, use the hashtag #YanksOnYes. You can also write on our Facebook page, and you can post on the message board at myyesnetwork.com.